remember the day she walked out like it was yesterday. It was a quiet afternoon, the kind where everything feels frozen. I didn't say a word. Maybe I should have, maybe I shouldn't have. But when she turned her back on me, I chose silence. I had no idea what to expect after that. Maybe she'd come back. Maybe she wouldn't. But deep down, I think I knew she'd regret it someday. I just didn't know how long it would take. Backstory. We weren't always like this. We didn't always have these long silences between us. There was a time when every morning felt like a promise of something better, and every evening was filled with shared moments. We loved each other in a way that made the world feel softer, lighter. But somehow, somewhere along the way, things started to shift. It was small at first, moments of distance, words left unsaid, little things that built up like an unspoken wall between us. Then one day, it became too much. I felt it, and I know she did too. But when she walked out, I didn't fight for her. I didn't chase after her or beg her to stay. Instead, I chose silence. Maybe I thought I was protecting myself, or maybe I believed that by giving her the space she wanted, she would realize what she had. The idea that she'd come back was just a flicker in my mind, but I couldn't bring myself to hope for it. All I knew was that when she left, I didn't try to stop her. And that, in itself, was a decision that would change everything. The days after she left felt like they had no meaning. I woke up each morning and went through the motions, but there was no spark, no reason to smile. The house was emptier, the silence louder. The bed on my side felt too cold. I missed the sound of her laughter, her footsteps, the way she'd hum in the kitchen. I thought maybe I'd find peace, or maybe even relief. But instead, I felt a hollowness inside me, like something had been torn out, and I wasn't sure how to fill the space. I wondered if she felt the same, if she missed me the way I missed her. But I refused to reach out. She had left, she had made the decision, and I would let her live with it. I told myself I'd be fine, but deep down, I was fighting with myself, wondering if I had made a mistake by staying quiet. Did she think I didn't care? Did she think I was indifferent? But then the phone didn't ring. The messages didn't come. She was gone, and I had let her go. And the silence between us grew louder, like a heavy weight that pressed on my chest every day. Her return. Then one evening, months later, the doorbell rang. It was late, and I wasn't expecting anyone. I opened the door, and there she was. Her eyes were red, her face tired. It was clear that life had not been easy for her since she left. "I'm sorry," she whispered, as if the words had been trapped inside her for too long. "I made a mistake. I shouldn't have left. I didn't know what I was doing." The words hit me like a wave, but I didn't know how to respond. She stood there waiting, her body trembling slightly like she was afraid of what might happen next. For a moment, I just stood there taking it all in. The silence between us was gone, but it felt different now. It wasn't the same silence that once felt like a barrier. It was a silence that spoke of regret, of lessons learned the hard way. The regret. She told me how she had spent months thinking about everything. The fights, the misunderstandings, the things she had said and done. She told me how she realized she had been running away from her own feelings, from the love that had always been there. But most of all, she told me how much she regretted leaving without even trying to fix things. "I thought I could walk away and forget about it," she said, wiping a tear from her cheek. "But I couldn't. I couldn't forget about you. I couldn't forget about us." Her words pierced through me, but I didn't know how to react. My heart was torn between anger and relief, between wanting to hold her and wanting to protect myself from more pain. "I stayed silent because I thought you needed to figure things out on your own," I finally said, my voice quiet, but steady. "But I guess I thought you'd come back sooner." She looked up at me, eyes filled with tears. "I should have come back sooner," she whispered. "I should have realized what I had before I lost it." The healing that night, we didn't have all the answers. We didn't know how things would turn out, but what we had was an understanding that silence had done its job. It had given us both time to think, to reflect on what really mattered. We spent hours talking, sharing everything we had kept locked away for so long. The hurt, the regrets, the love. It was messy, it was painful, but it was real. We were both different people now, and maybe that was a good thing. She stayed that night, and for the first time in months, I didn't feel alone. The silence had been broken, but it wasn't the kind of silence that tore us apart. It was the kind that healed. Conclusion: maybe silence isn't always the answer, but sometimes it's the only way to let someone find their own way back. Maybe it takes a few months, maybe a few years, but sometimes it's the only way we can truly understand what we've lost. She returned with tears and with regret, but also with hope. We didn't know what the future would hold, but we knew that sometimes silence speaks louder than anything else. And sometimes it's that silence that makes them realize they were wrong, and maybe, just maybe, that's enough.